surrender is a superpower. And it is one of the most key practices we can integrate into our lives. Totally transforms your entire life, your energy, your mindset, your flow, your ability to be present and show up. Those are some of the gifts of surrender. So I want to tell you a little story. Back in the day, in a past life, I was a master of force, manipulation, power struggles, judgment, criticism, force. I was living my life with this little book called The Life According to Erica. And as I look back on that, like, I was always trying to force things that weren't aligned. I wasn't listening to my heart. I wasn't listening to my inner guidance, my inner wisdom. And I was just trying to like plow through life according to what I thought from the mind and my limited perspective was what I should be doing, what I should be being, what I should be having. Like, everything was coming from this place of the mind and a super low vibration with a whole lot of negative self-talk. I call them the little monsters of the mind. And I was suffering. I was suffering extraordinarily well. And finally one day, I was suffering to the point where I was like forced up against a wall, and I really didn't have any choice but to surrender. It was the greatest gift. Literally one day, I found myself in such despair. Kind of one of those drop to your knees, and like, I literally did a full prostration on the floor, like laid fully on the floor, arms overhead, forehead to the floor. I'm like, something's gotta give and something's got to change. And with my hands outstretched over my head and my forehead on the floor, I had this revelation. In that moment, I actually surrendered. I don't know if it was the physical prostrating. I don't know, and I don't care. All I know is it worked. In this moment, I knew I don't have to know it all, be it all, do it all, figure it all out, have the answer for everyone, fix everyone. I didn't even know how to fix myself. How could I fix anyone else? And I let it all go. And I sobbed and I sobbed and I sobbed, like, the emotion comes from me reflecting on, I don't know how I managed to suffer so deeply, so profoundly. And I was doing it to myself. You know, I was carrying the burden of everything on my shoulders like a badge of honor, and I finally put it down. I finally put it down. And surrender became my go-to. Like, you know, they say let go and let God. There's a reason why we say that, let go and let God. Because whether you believe in God, it doesn't matter. Whatever the higher power of your heart's understanding is, and that could be nature, it could be the ocean, it could be the sun, it could be flowers, I don't care what it is, as long as it's something bigger than you. And I began the practice of surrender. And I would have to, I was surrendering like 1,000 times a day because my mind was strong. And if there was a seeming problem in my life, I wanted the solution and I wanted it now. I wanted it yesterday. I need to figure it out. I need to solve that, whatever. There was no surrender. There was no flow. There was just resistance and butting up against what was happening in my life. Everything that showed up there was this fight and this struggle constantly. So when I began the process of surrender, I would have to remind myself, my mantra was let go for a year. Let go, let go, let go. And, I'd say let go, and I'd let go, take a breath. The next thing I knew, my mind had grabbed a hold of it again, and I had to retrain myself to let go. But my suffering was so deep, I was willing to do whatever it took to feel better, because I knew how I was living my life was not optimal. It wasn't pleasant, it wasn't fun, and it wasn't working. And I was exhausted. And so I started to practice surrender every single day, 1,000 times a day, until I retrained my mind that surrender it just became my new normal. And I don't even have to think of it anymore. Like, I go within, I feel what is going on in my body. If I feel like I'm forcing, or I'm judging, or I'm criticizing, or I'm more focused on what's not here than I am on gratitude and all the things I have to be grateful for, I realign. I help myself remember. Surrender, in my opinion, from my direct experience and from watching and witnessing and observing thousands of people in my practice that I've been doing for 2.5 decades, the people that take surrender to heart and live it. This is not a mental concept. This is not, yeah. Your mind and your ego is going to want to listen to this and go, yeah. That worked for her, and it won't work for me. We tend to think these things, and I say bullshit. It works for everybody that genuinely chooses to surrender. And surrender isn't, we give away our self-responsibility, or, we don't participate, but it's this beautiful dance. And so if you are feeling like there's this, power versus force, and when we surrender actively, we give, I'm going to be in the flow and be guided every second of every day the best I can by what feels the best, what feels optimal, what excites me, what I'm passionate about, and let go, create space, we receive intuition, you take another step, you let go, create space, and you keep moving forward. And it's a lifestyle. It's a way of life. And it's one that I promise you, if you take this to heart, will revolutionize your life in every single way, on every level, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, every way. And I'm not saying to not participate. I'm not saying to not act. But there's this dance. And so if what I'm saying is like hitting your heart, you're like, I feel like she's talking to me, comment below surrender. And when you comment below surrender, I'm going to send you what surrender really means from the highest perspective, what it is, what it looks like in your daily life. Simple steps to begin practicing surrender, and yes, surrender is a practice. Ceremonies and rituals for surrender, if you're into that sort of thing. Ongoing practice of surrender, benefits of learning surrender, inner peace, clearer guidance, deeper trust, greater flow, spiritual expansion, healing and integration, and so much more. I also created a sacred scroll of divine surrender that has activations within it. So if this excites you and you want to live in greater flow with ease and grace and really open to receive all the gifts and blessings the universe wishes to give you when we can get out of our own fucking way. Come and surrender. I've got you. I'm going to send you some awesome stuff. To your sweet surrender, may peace be still within you for eternity.